welcome everybody to this Sunday after church tea time. We are
Laurentiu
and Alexandra, and we are twin flames in Harmonious Union, also married in the Church of Union.
Yes.
And we are joined today by a beautiful group of people, so we will let them introduce themselves, and then we will start discussing about today's beautiful sermon by Jose and Michaela. So who'd like to go first?
Well, hello, I'm Rachel, and this is my first after church tea time. So I hope I don't trip up on my words, and it's very nice to be here.
It's okay. It's nice to have you here. And it's just we're all family, so you can relax and enjoy the discussion. Nice to have you here, Rachel.
Thank you.
Hello, we're Stan.
And Johanna, yeah.
Yeah, it's also our first time here, so we're excited to be here talking about the experience of Jose and Michaela and how also it gave us insights. So
Yeah, thank you for having us. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Thank you for being here as well.
Hi, I'm Lisi, and I'm really happy to be here, really grateful, and I just feel so much openness and joy following Jose and Michaela's wedding, and gratitude for what they shared in today's sermon and how they continue to give and demonstrate, the teachings of Jeff and Shaleia through their own healing and then through their own giving of the healing to all. As Jeff and Shaleia teach us about twin flames and the purpose of your union. So I'm really delighted to be here and be with all of you and to be with the community. Thank you for having me.
of course.
Yeah, thank you for being here as well. And yeah, with that, let's start discussing about today's sermon. I think it was, as Lizzie shared, this was perfect because for those of you who don't know, like yesterday, if you don't know, who are you? Hi, maybe you're the first time here. We had a wedding yesterday. You can see that on the YouTube channel as well. And it was like Jose and Michaela's wedding, and they graciously, made a sermon about their process of getting married and shared a lot of juicy insight from this process of getting married with your twin flame in harmonious union in the Church of Union, and how that went for them. And they shared a lot of beautiful insights that we can go deeper with and see what we got from this sermon. And if we were to start, like, since we're also like married, I think like we can also share the sentiments of feeling like the stability, like in our foundation.
Definitely.
As we have chosen to get married, especially like in the Church of Union.
Yeah, like it was a process for us as well. Like I feel like it's always a spiritual process to get married, and everybody has their own process there, and it comes with the challenges, and it feels very good to move through them and really like achieve your marriage.
Yeah, I really love that they shared that, and we feel that and resonate with that as well, and how beautiful it is to have this. So
like how it requires persistence, because as of them, like with their process, with having to go through their whole experience of like wanting to go to get married to, trying to get the name right,
Gibraltar. Yeah.
Thank you. And that experience of not being able to go there and just coming back and like then needing to find another way, and then finding the miracles of like the lawyer and just getting another way to get married, not really like letting themselves like stop there. I really kind of felt like even with our wedding, like it was with COVID, like when we wanted to get married, COVID started, and like
no marriage is allowed anymore.
Yes. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And then like, of course, we had to persist to keep,
Healing.
healing. And then like at some point for us, like they started opening up the marriage again. And then we were able to go and we just did it and
Yeah.
we're married.
Yeah. So yeah, we really resonated with that, and we felt like that's a core lesson, as well as surrender, as Deb was sharing in the outro. So yeah, what are your thoughts about it? How do you feel?
Yeah, I really liked how candid Jose and Michaela were about their process, moving through what they did in Gibraltar and the lessons that it brought them. And they rooted it out. Like there was the lie, and they didn't hide the lie. They realized they lied, and then they were very forthright about that. I remember they shared right after that happened. They weren't hiding it. They realized that they had, um, uprooted a challenge for themselves. And what I really appreciated, especially like that Michaela shared, is that she wanted to root out the root cause of what had it's the lying was just a pattern, and she wanted to root it out. And so she did what she knew to do, which is to go to MAP, the mind alignment process, and process, what the root of it. And I guess, for me, I when I was younger, I would, as a child, lie a lot, and I realized it's because I was scared, and the root cause is a fear. And so I healed a lot of that in MAP for myself. And it's safe. It's safe to share. It's safe to choose the tools and resources that are available in this community. And in this community, in the Church of Union and the Twin Flames Universe community, we're all loving each other, and no one is shaming and getting upset. And I think I loved how they shared that they released a lot of that shame, and that is like, it really inspired me. Okay, like every marriage that comes through the Church of Union, like, brings me a lot of relief, because it's like this path works. And I know that it does, because I've experienced miracles, but it's just a blessing for all of us. Whenever one person chooses to heal, we just all receive that. And I'm really grateful. So that really touched me a lot, when they're so open and humble and candid about sharing their story. And in sharing it, we get to experience that healing too, and be more like inspired to make new choices. I am, at least.
Hi.
Yeah, thank you for sharing, Lizzie.
Yeah, we can like relate a lot with what Lizzie said. Like, our story is a bit different. Like, our path is a bit different, how we did it. Like, I also get Lizzie there about lying and all of these things. Like, that was also a bit for me in my childhood, and like the path that
Feeling safe.
yeah, the path that we took there also is a big lesson also for us, like to share, because that was a big thing for us, sharing. Also, like we know now from Jose and Michaela, like it's very beautiful how they are open, how they are actually sharing it, and so that other people can learn from the things also, because it can prevent another person from making the same choice. Yeah, like it's very beautiful to see how open they are, and like it touches us still very deeply, like that we also want to let other people know that like there is a better choice there, knowing that sorry, it's very deep like at the moment, but it's just that Twin Flames universe is very loving, that all of the people here are very loving, and that there are resources for you to be helped, like MAP, like your coaches, all of those things. And it's beautiful to see how they actually are so persistent. Like that's also that like we are also a lot persistent. And we also aligned with what was it, Michaela, that she said, like sometimes there comes a storm that it's like being able to like to uproot you completely, but then it's about applying the teachings. So we align with that a lot. Like it happened for us. It was perfect for us at that moment because we were able to go to MAP to heal a lot and to apply the teachings, and we're happy that it worked like that. And like we're still claiming our marriage in the Church of Union. So it's about all surrendering to God, and
yeah, definitely brought up a lot for us, like seeing this, and we're very grateful for all the people who married in the Church of Union, for all their role modeling, being faithful to only love, not allowing fear to be in your consciousness, because if you hold fear in your consciousness, you might not realize that you are making choices that are a bit based on separation, not aligned with God. So it will then come to the surface. And definitely also what they said, that their marriage is a lot more meaningful. Like now that they, Jose and Michaela, they chose to do it honestly and with God, and step by step, and working through the papers and really building that foundation and claiming the support. And like Lacey said, there is all the support here, like with MAP and with your Ascension coach, and really the work does work 100%. It's just so important being and staying faithful to love and grounded in the teachings.
Also know that like Jeff and Shaleia are here to love us. Like they don't say things to hate you or to put you down. It's just like if they see something, it's just like to love you. And that's the beautiful thing about it. Like, are you going to choose love when it's really hard, or are you going to give up? And that hit us hard back then, and we chose love. We're proud of ourselves, like that we choose love every day, even when it's hard. We're like, it's about that you keep going, that you keep choosing love and don't give in to fear. And also, like Jose said, like as long as you stay with God and with your choice of love and you're good, like nothing can happen to you, and you will experience only good. And it's about applying that. So
Thank you.
Well, I've been following Jose and Michaela's story all along, so it was really nice to hear them talking about it and going a little bit deeper into each little piece. For me, I think there were some common threads throughout the whole story. There were common themes, very strongly about feeling through the fear. So like uncomfortable feelings are going to come up, and then you're more always not to avoid them. You have to face it. You have to move through it. And another very strong theme was it came up several times, refusing point blank to accept separation. That's that was a big one. No matter how hard it looks, and no matter what comes up, even if the situation isn't looking good, ultimately they are building blocks that you apply to the foundation. Everything moved through is just another slab in your foundation. So even when things look like they were falling apart, really, they were strengthening and deepening with each other. Yeah, and they were talking about how it doesn't matter how scary things look, or even if you can't see what's going to happen, if you can't see how it could possibly work out, as long as you're doing it with God, it will work out, but always God's way, not your way. And so they concluded a core lesson was a fear that they had to face about losing their foundation, about their foundation crumbling, but once again choosing to stay with God and being willing to move through the scary feelings to find the peace on the other side. And then if you're doing it with God, God will never abandon you. Nothing can prevent you if you're doing it with God. And it proves that the work is real. The inner work was there with them the whole time, supporting them. The only thing that they lost was their fear. And I remember that class in TFAS where Jeff talked about challenges, storms coming that are capable of uprooting you. But that is when you're going to be tested. It's going to be when you're putting the inner work into practice. It's like anyone can say they're a good student when it's easy, but when the chips are down, everyone gets tested. And handling the foundation was the key to everything. Even doing the little boring bits like the paperwork are actually vital, because you want the deep foundation, you want it to be rooted in God. And there's it's a process in itself to understand something conceptually, but to actually arrive there emotionally in your heart. And once you're there, there's no power that can ever separate you from God. And finally, Shaleia spoke a little bit about this yesterday in class, about how marriage is a tighter container for your love. It's more secure. It's literally official. It's like grounding your marriage in heaven and your harmonious union on earth. But you've got to do it God's way, not your way. Thank you.
Yeah, beautifully said, Rachel. And I agree with everything you shared. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to share a comment from Shaleia that when you, Stein and Johanna were speaking, she said that's how it's done. Keep choosing love, and you'll be well.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Thank you.
I really love like this lesson, like in perseverance and in love and in choosing to be with God all the way. And I really love that the way that Jose and Michaela shared and like demonstrated, it shows exactly like the process that Jeff and Shaleia have taught, in Twin Flame Ascension School and in Life Purpose class. They're like a prime example of how this work works. And I really love like one aspect that I know like it's you can always go deeper with is like listening to like your intuition, trusting that and going with that that feeling that you have in your heart where something like doesn't feel good or something feels good, to just follow that. And I really love how they show that, you have to like take action as well. You have to do the steps, you have to do the papers, you have to like go and talk with a lawyer and do all of the very grounded and necessary steps for you to like have this eternal foundation. And I feel like that's like a critical point for every area of your life when you're doing it like with God and like in healing. Like it's important to like really ground the healing, and the healing that you're doing is gonna be grounded with Rachel just like left the chat.
It's okay.
She's gonna come back. Yeah. But I was talking, like about grounding and how, after every healing, it's a safe like ground and see where are you guided to like take a step, you know, be it like go talk with a lawyer or do more inner work or rest or do some papers, or, you know, it's always being in that flow with God, and it's always going to be like, you know, love, healing, and action and change.
Yeah.
And that's how, you know, it's beautiful to see how all of this could be born. It's okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. My computer restarted itself for no reason.
That's okay.
It's okay. We're good that we have you back.
Good to have you back.
And here, like, this is the path that we chose by following Jeff and Shaleia to live heaven on earth, not outside of us, not living the earth. And this is the path that, you know, like right now it's open for us, and we all choose to move in this way, all that we're here. Yeah, because we want to experience heaven on earth, and for that we need to have a relationship with earth
as well as with heaven. And I really love how, again, like Jose and Michaela like portray this journey like perfectly, of bringing this very foundational piece of heaven on earth for them, like in their life, in their union, and for us all to enjoy and rejoice about. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, and with every marriage, we bring more and more heaven on earth. And really beautiful with Jose and Michaela, how you know, just that persistence, just that example of them doing that really shows even deeper how to do this, and really like encourage even more people to do that, encourage even more to claim their own heaven on earth.
Yeah, to keep going and to keep, you know, having faith in your own like journey, and that no matter how it looks like for you right now, even maybe you are in a storm, just how Jose and Michaela were in a storm. Well, the bigger the storm, the bigger the reward after the storm. And for them, it was like a huge reward, a huge relief, right? So it was worth it. As they said, like it made every challenge that they went through a lot, made like that marriage be like a lot more meaningful. So just maybe meditate this in your own life and see how maybe you're going through some challenges as well right now. Well, what's like the reward that you might receive? How is that going to feel like? You know, have faith in that. Have faith in the promise, right? The promise is like the promise of dreams is that they come true, right? So have faith in that along at each and every step and each and every you know, challenge. And I think, you know, that's I know that's one of the things that, you know, keeps us going and along the way. Never accept separation, never accept fear in your heart, and just choose love.
Good. And we have some more comments. Let's see. Natalie just likes Rachel. She says you look good. And Chrissy shared something. Chrissy said that she loves their persistence of Jose and Michaela, and that they really drove home the lesson from LPC 7.
The story of Jim.
The story of Jim. Yeah, I totally agree with that. They really did that, because it's really like it's really exactly like that, like the story of Jim. If you haven't watched it, watch it.
Persistent with bringing your dreams, never quit. When one door closes, another one opens. Jose and Michaela are a perfect example of how you choose love, take action as required, and never quit. You achieve your dreams. Yeah, that's beautiful, and it's very relieving, I feel, for all of us as a community to see how this formula that Jeff and Shaleia gave us works, and we see it like more people have more and more success with it. And maybe you in your own life have experienced, you know, some success, and maybe you're challenging into like, oh, are you going to achieve like your own marriage with your twin flame in harmonious union into the Church of Union? Well, you know, here it is like a proof, an example that it is possible, and it's the same process. Jose and Michaela have worked through the same process that you have also been taught. So all that you have to do is just take the steps, have faith, keep the faith, and don't let those pesky challenges take you down. Don't give up, and just keep choosing love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they can do it, you can do it.
Yeah, we can all do it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and like with them, like it's really like even impressive of their own like story of like you know, even Michaela going to Spain and being in that place, and just all that all those challenges, how they looked for them, because from a different perspective it looked like, oh no, it's impossible, but it's not.
Yeah.
But they were willing to do whatever it takes. How Michaela said, if she needed to go back to US and then come back, she would have done that. But God found the perfect way for them.
Exactly.
And you find yours.
Thank you. I really love Jose and Michaela's whole story. And, you know, their story doesn't start when Michaela went to Spain for the first time. Their story starts much earlier. And that's something I wanted to share, especially because, you know, there are twin flames who aren't even talking to their twin flame or don't even know who their twin flame is. And the whole process began with Jeff and Shaleia. Michaela had been studying their work for, she says this when Michaela becomes a live student in Wednesday, 7 p.m. class 25. That's her first class where she was recorded. You can follow her whole story. She came into that class and she said that she'd been studying Jeff and Shaleia's work for a year before even starting that class. So their marriage was built through all of the steps that Jose and Michaela both took. It looked different on the outside. It looked like Michaela was the only twin flame in Twin Flame Ascension School, and only one twin flame needs to study the work because you heal as one. But from that class onward, it was very clear that Michaela was a sincere seeker, and she desired above all else to heal. And you can hear that on her very first class in her responses to Jeff, and you can heal alongside of her. And then she moved forward. She called in her true twin flame, and she received a person who we now know is a false twin flame, but it was an essential part of her journey. And Jose experienced a false twin flame as well, and they taught both of them a lot. So it's when you think this is impossible, watch Twin Flame Ascension School and journey with Jose and Michaela and all of the other students as Jeff and Shaleia guide them, because that's your journey too. And every part of Twin Flame Ascension School, you can start and connect with the place where the students are and being healed and move forward. And even watching a class again, you're going to get more information because you're in, you know, you've done healing and now you're receiving a different piece. It builds upon your prior knowledge. In one class I really like that a lot of people talk about that Michaela heals in is Wednesday, 7 p.m. class 78, where Michaela heals through like deep separation and comes to peace. And it's all to do with valuing yourself. And she learned that experience with her false twin flame. And all that love that she gave herself went into her true union. So it wasn't lost. She honored her false twin flame experience completely. And it was her true twin flame to her in the classes until it was revealed differently. But she loved it completely. Another example of Jose and Michaela's union of loving completely is in Michaela's job that she had and that was what Jeff took her through in the Money Mastery course. It's free on YouTube. And Michaela, he essentially communicated to her after helping her clear all of the financial leaks that she may have had. And one of the things he communicates is that, you know, if you want to transcend something, you have to love it completely. And she did. And I remember after that was recorded, I believe she got a raise or promotion at that company. And it wasn't her eventual life purpose, but it was part of her life purpose because it was a building block in her life purpose, not separate. So there's just so many things that we can learn from each person. And but I just wanted to, comment that the journey is all handled, and how important it is to know that it's handled through all these gifts that Jeff and Shaleia have given us. And Twin Flame Ascension School and Life Purpose class are the foundation. It's like the daily bread. I know that Chrissy K talks about it being the daily bread. And I really feel that too. And I've really enjoyed going back and watching the classes again and just receiving so much. And it gives me faith on my journey in all these places where I'm still working on healing. And I appreciate the beauty of the path and the gift of walking it.
Yeah, so Michaela didn't know Jose was twin flame for some time, but she did admit that the first time she saw him on Facebook, she had a crush on him. So her heart was always with him. So it's funny how things work out sometimes. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say for the moment.
Yeah, your heart always knows.
Yeah, and I agree with that because actually I was speaking with Michaela about that. She always had these feelings about Jose when she met him, but she was kind of like trying to deny those feelings because no, my twin flame is someone else.
Mhm.
But because she was persistent, what was important there was that she was persistent with her will towards her twin flame, and she didn't attach to a person necessarily in that moment. It was more like the act of like being committed to her twin flame in that moment, even though it showed up like her actual twin flame was Jose. She still like wanted to learn the lesson of like how going for just for someone, just for the one.
Mhm.
So I just love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you watch the class where she believes that her fourth twin flame could have been her actual one, you could tell from her demeanor that at least part of her heart was elsewhere. Well, with the benefit of hindsight, well, that's what I picked up on anyway.
Of course.
I don't know. I think I've had moments in my own union with my true twin flame where I questioned, and my heart wasn't pure, and I had to heal whatever was coming in front of me. And so the only truth is God's truth. And sometimes, God will, it's only through God that the truth is revealed. And so, yeah, I'm not sure I would have been able to even see that in hindsight, because we can't, like, God's truth is the thing you can't go beyond, right? And if God wants to reveal something to us, he will. And we have to kind of take it in stride and go all in and loving whatever God is showing us completely. So yeah, I can see that, but I also know how my heart can be blocked sometimes to my true twin flame, to my own love and to God's love. And it might appear that, I know something, but I can't know something until God shows it to me. And that's kind of like, that's a lesson I'm learning right now.
Yeah, like the story you told about Michaela was actually like it relates a bit to us, right? Like
with the papers.
yeah, papers, and also that you in the beginning like thought that somebody else was your twin flame, and then like that your coach said like, well, it takes so long already, isn't it time that you like surrender to God and just surrender to where God takes you? And yeah, that was also a lesson for us both, because I remember back then I was coaching with somebody else and she said exactly the same thing to me. at the same moment. And when we came together, we told that story to each other, like what our coaches said, and then we realized like it was at the exact same moment that we got that message, and that we just there released the false twin flame and just surrendered to God, and just followed God, and let God do it through us and for us. So it's important that actually in every step you take, also like Michaela said in the sermon, like that you follow God, and that you surrender to God, and that you choose love. And that's the most important thing, I feel.
Yeah, not judging the process also, like how your process looks like for getting married or so, or your union, like it looks for everyone different. And yeah, there will be challenges, just like Jeff says in classes, where ego wants to try to play its games on you, whether you fall into that trap of fear or not. And definitely there your mastery comes in, whether you're choosing love, whether you heal all places where you're in fear. It's very important.
Yeah, also especially if you're from different countries, like that you choose to not go into fear if you need to do the paperwork and all of these things. And that it's important that you allow yourself to be supported by the God true brothers and sisters, like who know things better in that area than you know it.
Yeah,
So
they
that
had
was
the
also a good lesson to hear from them, like they
claim your support.
claimed their support. So that's also very important.
Yeah.
I agree about the papers, because I remember from my own experience, I myself I moved through a lot of upsets about just filling out papers and just doing the papers, because I would even I know for me, like completing papers was quite a journey to heal, because to be honest, I had some kind of trauma that I moved through there, because when I was getting there, I was even freezing. There was a point where I was just like completing some normal paper, just name, address, and just some things, just for some stuff, simple stuff. I don't remember if it was for the wedding or not, but there was something that was supporting us with the wedding. And basically, I was just like in a space where I was just not being able to do it anymore. And I just need that space to love myself, to move through that, to just like have compassion with myself, because for me, I wasn't taught how to do papers as a kid. And it's always been this scary thing. So I had to move through a lot of emotions just to get to a place of like, yeah, it's okay to move through papers. It's okay to, complete them and just to fill them out. And it's an experience, it's a journey, it's a process. And
Growing up.
It's growing up, exactly.
Yeah.
And we're all growing up here, and like it's safe to recognize where we are, because that's one of the key components there. It's safe to recognize that in a space I was kind of like a baby going to sign papers. I would just kind of like scream everywhere because I didn't know how to kind of write in that way. But moving through that process and just growing up, it's essential. And that's what Jose and Michaela have did here and have shown us.
Yeah.
They have grown up. They have really like stepped up in their life, and they grew in their maturity as twin flames and as souls.
Yeah, and exactly. And claiming your support, however that looks like, for you and for your particular situation. Like for them, it meant hiring a lawyer that would help them to go through all of this paperwork and in a much easier way than they would have had to like figure out on their own, right? It was like a very kind of like energetical, expensive, energetically to do that, so therefore it's safe to like see what's also like an easy way for you to go to like all of these challenges that might appear on your journey. And don't hesitate to like accept help. it's actually a very grown-up thing to ask for support and not try to like be stubborn and do it on your own when you're not like fully capable. You move to your feelings, you heal, but you know, like it's safe to see that you have like just how like a harmonious union is built with a village. That's how like Jeff and Shania said, like having a harmonious union is built with a village,
You
like
need
the
a
whole
village.
community. Yeah,
You need a village to build the harmonious union.
it's the same with like your marriage. You need the same amount of support. So claim however that looks like, from the spiritual support to like the physical support to like everything. Like Jose and Michaela needed actual people to go and be witness to their wedding, and that's another level of support that they needed, you know, that you know it's required and it's safe to claim. And you know, we're very grateful to, I was just thinking and looking at the picture that they posted about like their wedding and like the gang that they had, you know, with them to the wedding. And I was like, oh my God, it just feels so good. And I'm so grateful for these people for being there for them, like in this very like sacred moment, right? Because I know how it was very vulnerable for us to find witnesses as well for our wedding. So I know how kind of how like it can be rather scary, especially the way that we did like our wedding. Like it wasn't like something grand or big with like hundreds of people invited or even tens of people invited. So it was I know like it can be like very, very vulnerable. So yeah, it's safe to trust in God that God will bring to you like everything that you need. It's safe to ask God and like follow your heart with every step along your own journey, right? And I think like something that I also appreciated, you know, that Lizzie brought up, then was that it's safe to see that how there was like a process in which like both Jose and Michaela work so they can like manifest this. And it's not like an overnight success. It's not just because they're special. It's not just because they're lucky in any way, or because they're young, or because they're like, I don't know, was privileged in any way. It's literally because they worked really, really hard for this from day one. And they moved to like every resistance, every challenge, every bit of upset, no matter how big or small, they move through it. And that's how they arrived in this moment today. And it doesn't matter how long it took, or like how it looked like on the outside, or you know, in what circumstances. It really doesn't matter. Like this, the moment that you heal, like it's all forgiven and like left behind it. So we can like all rejoice like in the love that is it is for us right now. And I think like this is what they also like appreciate about their marriage as well, is that they have like a lot of gratefulness and humbleness in their heart for like everything that they went through, because now they have achieved this. Yeah.
Yeah, what I would like to add is, yeah, just that I feel like what they also said, like that you can be easily overwhelmed, like when you first come together with your twin flame, with like being together in the physical, like having that experience. Then let's say you might get shown a lot of areas in your life where you were not even aware of, that you need to heal yourself, let's say around families, friendships, or your life purpose, your foundation, and all the things all at once. So I really admire their strengths and how they handled everything, and they had now such a beautiful wedding, because it can be really a lot. I'm really grateful for Jeff and Shalea's teachings, and for all the coaches out there, and MAP and everything, because you can easily get overwhelmed, sidetracked, like pulled into illusions from other people, basically, if they are not like rooted into God's consciousness, you might easily start going into fear as well. And so it's very, very important, again, also like the spiritual community or having friends and receiving support, being honest about all areas of your life, looking at them and doing it step by step. And yeah, like taking your time, claiming your support, especially once you are together. Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, it's also all worth it. Like it's nothing empty. Like I know if you are not physically together yet, then that it sometimes feels like the same block, or like I healed that last week, or it comes up time and time again. But just know that you don't do it for the result. Like I also realized that, like, don't heal yourself just to get the result. Like heal yourself because you truly love yourself, and the result will come also because of that automatically. So yeah, that's also an important thing, I feel like, to not forget that you truly love yourself, instead of just like doing the healing because you want to reach something. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that, Stan and Johanna, because I know in my own union, I know now, but I didn't attain a level of mastery over my inner work that would allow me to live in grace and peace with my twin flame. And at first I was, devastated because I had seen a harmonious twin flame union as a goal in the external. And I was trying to push that together energetically. And I didn't realize that until I continued to move forward and received contrast and lessons, and the community definitely helped me. Jeff and Shaleia helped just to show me what my patterns were. And so in letting go and just choosing to move in peace, and just choosing to love myself because it feels good to me, not to get something or push something together, and just really choose to have a relationship with God. I see now like that where I am is very appropriate for the work that I've done, and it gives me a lot of relief to just relax into continuing to do the work, and continuing to choose Josh and to choose my harmonious twin flame union too, and that it's safe to just keep doing the work because it feels good and not because I'm trying to get something outside of me. So yeah, it's not like I want to feel peaceful in my union, and I know that I'm building that right now as I continue to heal. And I feel really proud of my union for persisting, and for, I'm happy that I made the choice to keep going, and I'm happy for all of these examples of others doing that too.
Yeah, this has been something that's been coming up in consciousness for me lately, and being able to process it on a deeper level. You're not doing it for the result, you're doing it knowing that the result arises naturally. There's nothing you actually have to do to attain it. It's already here. It's already given. It's just coming into the realization of that. Everyone's nodding. Yeah, so I'm processing an awful lot of information at the moment. I've just looked down at my notebooks. I've just worked out I've written 3,000 pages of TFAS notes.
Yeah, that's okay. And I think like it's really it's important to like ground, all of the beauty and blessings that this event has brought, for all of us, and it's, of course, it's very it can be very emotional. It can be just to like receive this and to work through like our own feelings that come up about, what, Jose and Michaela have, shared with us, and, seeing their wedding kind of like blossom, and the relationship blossom in front of our eyes. And it can be like very touching. And I think like it's very appropriate to realize like, how many feelings there might be for, the people watching, and for all of us as we receive this gift, and as we receive this awareness that Jose and Michaela had brought with their wedding and with their sermon today as well, and that it's safe to like process, ground, feel the feelings that come up, take all the lessons that have been presented, and just really like meditate upon them, and like see how they apply for your own life, like your own journey. And don't be how to say, afraid or overwhelmed, right? Like something that I moved through recently that helped me understand overwhelm deeper is just that overwhelm is simply just a lack of faith. So whenever you feel overwhelmed by maybe the feelings or emotions or situations happening in your life, just choose to have faith in God, because
Just
God
trust
never, trust God, because God never brings you too much on your plate. It's just what you need here to move forward, to learn a lesson, to go through the challenge, right? To have what you desire, to have that dream, to manifest it, and to bring it forth into the world, into reality. To see it come alive before your eyes, and that's really, really beautiful. And I know it can be emotional, right? And safe to feel, safe to be with our feelings, to be with ourselves, to process. And then also, as Jose and Michaela modeled, to take inspired action, do things according to like the new level of awareness that we receive from the healing. With the healing, we always receive something, a new step, a new way of being, and it's safe to like implement and ground that as well into our lives. So yeah.
I think we have time for a question.
Yes, what's the question?
Natalie was asking, would you say it's easier or more challenging to relax into the process when you're held by your man at night?
Well, Natalie, I invited to like see what do you think is the answer here? Yeah, I think it's obvious, unless you have upsets and you don't want to be held at night.
But here, like,
I'm joking.
Something deeper here.
Mhm.
For it's more like it shouldn't make a difference here, because you're always with your man, Natalie.
It's just like having the awareness, right? And having that manifested in your life. Of course, it brings a level of security that's, palpable in your life.
More, let's say, like you having me in this way, it's more like a manifestation of you giving yourself that security.
Yeah. It's all the same.
Good.
Yeah.
She has something more, but like, I guess it makes more of a difference when you're not being held.
Well, you can feel your feelings about that.
And you can choose to hold yourself.
Hold yourself and invite, healing into that space, and see what feelings do come up for you, if you have feelings coming up. And what do you think like being held, would offer you that you don't already have? It seems like there's a bit of lack consciousness there to be moved through, and to claim, like your love, your support, your value even deeper.
And to give yourself all that you desire.
Yep, exactly. Good. And with that being said, any closing thoughts or comments that you'd like to share right now before we end the live?
Yeah, I wanted to share to Natalie, use the visualization step in the mirror exercise, step 4, And remember Shaleia's example of being held by Divine Mother and breastfed by Divine Mother, and that your imagination is not pretend. Imagination comes from God. So give that, you can actually give that to yourself in step 4.
Yep. Exactly, that's the power of the mirror exercise, and especially like the step 4, and making sure that you integrate that part of you after like the healing is complete. Really, really important to make a note of that. Since we went deeper into step 4 of the mirror exercise, might as well complete it. Integrate that part of you. Let it melt back into your heart.
Good.
When you feel peaceful.
Any other closing comments?
Yeah, like I want to say to Natalie, like before we came into union, like I had something similar where I had an upset about not having my twin flame in the physical and like being held and all these things. But like if you realize that you're a co-creator with God and that you're so powerful, like that your visualization, like whatever you visualize, like sooner or later, God will like bring it into your reality. So it's all about like surrendering to that visualization and completely accepting it as truth, as if like your twin flame is already lying next to you. So that's what I did consistently every day, every evening, and I didn't stop. Like probably people thought like like he's delusional or something like that, but I didn't care. So it was just like it felt good for me, and like do just what feels good for you and know that you're a powerful co-creator with God and just surrender.
You're one with your twin flame. Yeah.
Good.
I think this is also like a lesson in Romance Attraction e-course. So for those having issues in this area, Romance Attraction e-course, please go through it, check it out, go through it again. If you already have it, do the exercises. Really, it's going to help you a lot in this area.
Good. I think with that, we're complete.
We are complete. Thank you everybody for joining us today in the after church tea time, and we will see you around.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.